DM Deep Dive number 6. How do you make players care enough about a town not to burn it down? That's a great question. Let's go on. There are a lot of different ways to answer this question. Building relationships with NPCs is one good reason not to destroy a town. If you have built characters with personalities that are believable, and the PCs have reason to interact with them, then the strength of that relationship built on interactions and a give-and-take relationship that eventually rewards the players in some way, not just the characters, is a good reason for the PCs to care about the town or setting or wherever you are. This is further aided if you have the characters return to the same town or set of towns multiple times for varying purposes. Creativity is nice, it's fun and exciting, but people love reliability and repetition. If you give them something that seems solid and dependable to them, they will value it more. I know, kind of sad, but true. Which is also, if you want to start a plot, good time to destroy or steal the thing they value. Give it back to them later, of course, but they have to work for it, which they'll enjoy. So anyway, build relationships with people. Find out what kind of person your players will most easily mesh with. Hint, it's usually someone like the player themselves. And keep making that kind of person or that particular NPC pop up in the adventure, or in downtime over and over, even if it is completely unrealistic. People like just having Cleric Bob pop out of the forest. Doesn't make any sense. He shouldn't have been there, and you're pretty sure he actually died, but he's right there. Or maybe it's a bard who has connections everywhere and can get you everything from weed to wagon wheels. Another question that may come up is, will the party receive some sort of punishment for taking illegal or evil actions? This doesn't work with every player, but some sort of punishment or revenge, at least the threat of it, may keep them from going too far afield or blowing up your world. Or maybe, like, you let them kill random commoners and kidnap children and then send a party of good NPC adventurers to hunt them down. Maybe that even turns out to be a lot of fun for the players that really do think of themselves as Murderhobos, or who just think of this as a video game. A creative way of enforcing law or goodness that I'm partial to is the Groundhog's Day effect. Let them do whatever they want with no reprisal, only make the pain they're inflicting clear. Whether that's commoners begging, crying, or just screaming in terror as they run for their lives, the destruction and falling apart of buildings and important locations, let them do it all. Murder, theft, arson, whatever. Then let them live out the rest of their adventuring day. Then they wake up and they're back in town right before they committed their atrocities. A deity of time or fate or vengeance or tedium messes with them. I used tedium, it was funny. Makes sense. They are then required to repeat this day endlessly until they treat everyone right. Then they also have to repel a band of thieves who come into town later that day. They wouldn't have known about them if they just destroy the whole town, because then the thieves wouldn't go into town because there's nothing to steal. It will be a very strange adventure for sure, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. But you know your players. Sometimes letting people do the horrible thing they have in their imagination just makes them calm down. And then they have a mystery to solve. This will also be pretty easy for you to run, just keep the same events happening every day. It doesn't have to be every single event, just the important ones make little tick marks of. Another consideration on the topic of keeping your world from blowing up is, what are your characters interested in regarding the rest of the world outside of their party and monsters that they fight? Maybe they love magical items. Maybe they want missions to assassinate people, or they want to own a castle, or they want attention and notoriety for being an amazing performer. Or maybe they just want to summon an elder god and destroy the universe. You know, fun stuff. If you want your players to fall in love with your world so they don't want to harm it or mess with your set design, then offering things that they want, even just a hint of it, will keep them engaged in a positive way. Include things that you know they want or that you think are cool, and then see if they bite. You don't even have to come up with a lot of detail for it. Once you see what they like most, then work on that for next session. Something one of my players loved was including a cult. They suddenly wanted to join. It completely confused me. But it was just to backstab everyone and take all their stuff. But still, he had to go through the motions and weird veiled threats of the initiation process to become one of the cult and then kill them. Once my player was just not engaged, different player. So I had him find a ring. He was a stoner. He just wasn't paying any attention. So I had him find a ring with a genie in it who offered him one wish with the promise that the djinn would try to kill him with the wish. He would try to pervert the meaning. That was strange and interesting, and it got him engaged in the world. Weirdly. Like, there was just something that he emotionally connected to that was a threat that he could relate to, so he took everything else more seriously. Another thing that people like, the freedom of travel. Maybe you could have your party discover a boat hundreds of miles inland, and it's made of metal of some type. It's a spaceship, and as soon as they get close, the robotic crew is activated, and they have to fight some weird iron golems or machines of some sort. You can even use elementals if you want. And when they win, they have a ship, but they have to repair it. It's damaged. Otherwise, it wouldn't just be sitting there. So they have to go find parts. And that's like a little side quest, and then they complete that, and then they get a ship that they can fly. Maybe into space, or maybe only into the planes, maybe only the sky in your world. Whatever you like. It's just fun having the goal to be able to do what you want, like leave the continent. Sort of like handing them hope. Or maybe the party discovers a network of teleportation circles that have to be activated to work. Stargate, anyone? Or a huge underground railroad, literally, that dwarves built, little mining carts. They don't know where it goes, but it's a fun mystery and involves travel. I actually took that from one of my players. They said, well, how did they get from there to there? Is there like some big long underground tunnel? I'm like, there is now. So in closing, there are a lot of different reasons your players may try to cause chaos or havoc. Whether that be that they're just bored or misguided, or they're just assholes. And we have a lot of tools at our disposal to address those issues. It can also come down to asking them what they want to be able to do or see in the game. By the by, if they're just assholes, maybe just don't invite them back. If you have any ideas or questions, hit me up on Discord or Twitter or, I don't know, the website or comments in this video or whatever. I'm happy to talk about this or anything else. Catch you later.